Hello and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the day's top headlines. 8 members of opposition parties suspended for unruly conduct in Rajya Sabha. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu says members defied established etiquettes, conduct, customs and procedures of the House during the passage of the 2 farm bills on Sunday. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu expresses deep anguish at the unprecedented unruly scenes by protesting opposition members, disallows resolution for no confidence moved by 47 opposition members against Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh. Chairman rules that resolution was not submitted in the proper format. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls farm bills passed by the Parliament a much-needed reform to help make the farmers self-reliant. Says opposition is misleading the farmers. At a virtual ceremony, launches 9 highway projects worth over 14,000 crore rupees. Also inaugurates optical fiber internet services Ghar Tak Fiber in Bihar. Government's gift to farmers. MSP on 6 Rabi crops, including wheat and gram, increased. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar gives information in the Lok Sabha. Reiterates MSP and government procurement will continue. And COVID-19 recovery rate improves to over 80%, with more than 90,000 patients cured for the 3rd consecutive day. For the first time in 4 months, weekly rise in infected patients goes down. The Rajya Sabha on Monday adopted a motion moved by the government seeking the suspension of 8 members for unruly conduct in the House. The motion was put to vote and carried by voice vote.
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs V. Muralidharan moved a motion seeking the suspension of 8 members of the Rajya Sabha for unruly conduct. He stated that the members defied etiquettes, conduct, customs and procedures of the House during the passage of the 2 farm bills on Sunday.
Gross disorderly conduct in the violation of the rules and etiquettes of Rajya Sabha, thereby bringing disrepute to this august House and causing insult to the office of Honorable Deputy Chairman yesterday, that is the 20th September 2020. I named the following persons: Sri Derek O'Brien, Sri Sanjay Singh, Sri Rajiv Satav, Sri K.K. Ragesh, Sri Syed Nasir Hussain, Sri Ripun Bora, Ms. Dola Sen and Sri Alamaram Karim.
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu put the motion to vote and it was adopted. The suspended members include Derek O'Brien and Dola Sen of the TMC, Rajiv Satav, Ripun Bora and Syed Nasir Hussain of the Congress, K.K. Ragesh and Alamaram Karim of the CPIM and Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party.
All these people have been named by the minister, and those in favor please raise their hands and say yes. Those against will say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
According to Rule 256, the chairman may, if he deems it necessary, name a member who disregards the authority of the chair or abuses the rules of the council by persistently and willfully obstructing the business. A member named by the chairman will be suspended from the service of the council for a period not exceeding the remainder of the session. A member suspended under this rule will quit the precincts of the council. Priti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu disallowed a resolution for no confidence moved by 47 opposition members against Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh. The chairman ruled that the resolution submitted by members of some opposition parties was not in the proper format. Such resolutions, he said, have to be moved after 14 days of giving notice about the intention to move it.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu on Monday disallowed a no-confidence resolution moved by the opposition members against Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh. Around 12 opposition parties submitted a resolution on Sunday seeking the removal of Harivansh.
After carefully going through the provisions of the Constitution, rules of Rajya Sabha and past precedents, I have observed that at the outset that the motion is not in proper format. Further, as per the provisions of the Article 90C of the Constitution, a notice period of 14 days is required for moving a resolution, not a motion. As the House is going to be adjourned Saturday on 1st 2020 as per the present schedule, notice does not complete the required period of 14 days. Hence, I rule that the motion given by the LOP and other members is not admissible.
Rules stipulate that a notice has to be given 14 days in advance, stating the intention to remove the Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman from office. The resolution has to be then passed by a majority of the members in the House. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Chairman Naidu expressed deep anguish at the unprecedented unruly scenes by protesting opposition members during the passage of farm bills on Sunday. He said the bedlam was unacceptable, unfortunate and also condemnable. He stressed that opposition members must introspect as their conduct brought disrepute to Parliament and to the upper house in particular.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu took strong exception to the actions of the members of some opposition parties during the passage of the farm bills on Sunday. The chairman said their behavior transcended the barriers of decorum and tarnished the image of the supreme law-making body of the country.
I was so pained yesterday. All social distancing and COVID-19 related precautions were violated by some members in the House yesterday. It pained me a lot because of what happened yesterday defies logic. It was really a bad day for Rajya Sabha. Some members came to the well of the House. They also throwed papers. They have wrenched the mic of the deputy chairman. They have hurled some papers on the deputy chairman. They abused the deputy chairman also, according to the deputy chairman. And then there was lot of rule book also was thrown on him. Some of the members also accepted. Outside also, yes, they did it. And getting onto that table, dancing in the House, and also obstructing the business of the House. This is very unfortunate. It's unacceptable and also condemnable. It tarnished the image of Parliament, particularly the Elders' House. So climbing on the bench, dancing, shouting in the well, tearing papers, breaking the mics, obstructing deputy chairman from his duties, throwing papers, rule book on deputy chairman, is it a parliamentary standard? I only suggest to the members of Parliament, please do some introspection.
The chairman further said that the members threatened the deputy chairman. He added that had the marshals not been called, the deputy chairman could have been harmed. The chairman also noted that the deputy chairman followed the customs, procedures and rules during the passage of the farm bills in the House.
If marshals were not called on time, what would have happened to the deputy chairman? I am worried. He says he was abused with objectionable words. These are all very unfortunate. These things should not be allowed. If you have any problem, the only way is discuss, debate and decide. If you have the numbers, vote against the resolution. And also the deputy chairman said, you please go to your seats. I will conduct voting. He said it, it's on record. It is shown all over. So that being the case, I suggest to the members, please, we are giving advice to the general public. We ourselves do not practice safe distance. Do not follow what has been advised. This is really very unfortunate and condemnable.
The chairman sternly reminded members that Parliament is meant for debate, discussion and deliberation, and that gross unruly conduct of the members cannot be allowed. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the proceedings of the upper house were adjourned till Tuesday after repeated adjournments on Monday. The members who were suspended continued with defiance of suspension motion adopted against them, which bars their presence. The legislative agenda of the day was derailed because of this. Reacting to the disruptions in the House, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said that the conduct of the members refusing to leave the House despite their suspension is illegal. He said that the Deputy Chairman on Sunday requested the protesting members to go back to their seats at least 13 times, but they continue to protest.
13 बार उप सभापति माननीय हरिवंश जी ने आग्रह किया आप अपनी सीट पर जाएं. I want to repeat 13 times, it's a matter of record, 13 times the Honorable Deputy Chairperson requested, you please go back on your seat. वो नहीं गए. तो आप अपनी सीट पर जाएंगे नहीं तो वोटिंग कहां से होगा? अगर मार्शल नहीं बचाते तो ये सारे वीडियो फुटेज में हैं उप सभापति के ऊपर फिजिकल चोट की भी आशंका क्लियर थी.
Talking about the proceedings in the other house now, Lok Sabha on Monday passed the Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill 2020. The bill seeks to amend the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act that seeks to make it mandatory for office bearers of any NGO to provide their Aadhaar numbers at the time of registration and also bring various other changes. Amid concerns raised by various opposition members about the bill, Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai said the legislation was not against any religion or NGO. The bill was passed after a discussion in the lower house. Replying to the discussion on the bill, the minister asserted that the bill was necessary for an Atmanirbhar Bharat and that it will also help in curbing misuse of foreign funds. Among other provisions, the bill proposes to enable the centre to allow an NGO or association to surrender its FCRA certificate.
जिन मामले में अधिनियम का उल्लंघन देखा जाता है और आगे अधिक उल्लंघन को रोकने के लिए आपातकालीन उपायों की जरूरत होती है. एक संक्षिप्त जांच के बाद ऐसे गैर सरकारी संगठन के बैंक खाते को फ्रीज करने के लिए केंद्र सरकार को सक्षम बनाने के लिए धारा 11(2) के तहत एक संशोधन प्रस्तावित है. हम पैसे के दुरुपयोग को रोकेंगे, उन पर नियंत्रण रखेंगे और जिस उद्देश्य से पैसा आता है उसको हम खर्च करेंगे. स्थानांतरण से व्यवस्था गड़बड़ाती थी, हिसाब का लेखा जोखा ठीक से नहीं हो पाता था, उसके लिए.
The Lok Sabha also passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2020. The bill has already been passed by the Rajya Sabha. And in some good news for the farmers, the government on Monday hiked the minimum support price of wheat by 50 rupees per quintal to 1,975 rupees per quintal in order to encourage them to increase cultivation of the crop. The decision was taken at a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The announcement was made by Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar in Lok Sabha. The minister reiterated that MSP and APMC mechanisms will continue, while informing that the CCEA has approved increasing the MSP of 6 Rabi crops.
आज हमने रबी की बुआई प्रारंभ होने के पूर्व ही 6 रबी की फसलों की MSP माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की अध्यक्षता में CCA की बैठक में स्वीकृति प्रदान की है. गेहूं की MSP में 50 रुपये कुंटल की वृद्धि के उपरांत अब 1975 हो गई है. चना में 225 रुपये की वृद्धि के उपरांत अब 5100 रुपया प्रति कुंटल चना होगा. मसूर में 300 रुपये प्रति कुंटल की वृद्धि के उपरांत 5100 रुपया प्रति कुंटल मसूर अब होगा. सरसों में 225 रुपये की प्रति कुंटल की वृद्धि के उपरांत अब 4650 प्रति कुंटल दाम होगा. जौ में 75 रुपये की वृद्धि के उपरांत 1600 रुपये प्रति कुंटल इसका भाव होगा। कुसुम में 112 की वृद्धि उपरांत 5327 प्रति कुंटल MSP निर्धारित की गई है।
Prime Minister Modi said higher MSP will empower farmers and contribute to doubling of their income. He asserted that increased MSP, along with the series of agricultural reforms passed by Parliament, will ensure dignity and prosperity of farmers. The Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 and the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 were passed by Parliament on Sunday. Time for a short break here on News Tonight, but more news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
The Nehru Trophy boat race of Kerala, popularly called Vallam Kali in local parlance. This historic boat race dates back to 1952 when Pandit Nehru visited the state and a pageantry of boats accompanied him from Kottayam to Alappuzha. The race, conducted on the second Saturday of August every year, is a major tourist attraction. It's generally the snake boats which participate in the race, and hence the shape of the winner's trophy is also a replica of a snake boat.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching News Tonight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Tuesday that the farm bills passed by Parliament were a much-needed reform to help make farmers self-reliant. Addressing the virtual ceremony to launch highway and optical fibre projects in Bihar, the Prime Minister said the bills will pave the way for technological as well as structural upgrades in the agricultural sector. Listen in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the two farm bills passed by Parliament on Sunday as the need of 21st century India. Calling the legislations historic, the Prime Minister reassured farmers that minimum support price will continue along with government purchases of their produce. He said the farmers are now free to sell their produce at the place and price of their choice, while business in mandis will run as usual. He also said the bills will transform the agricultural sector and empower the farmers.
बीते 5 साल में जितनी सरकारी खरीद हुई है और 2014 से पहले के 5 साल में जितनी सरकारी खरीदी हुई है उसके आंकड़े देखोगे तो कौन सच बोल रहा है, कौन किसानों के लिए काम कर रहा है, कौन किसानों के भलाई के लिए काम कर रहा है, इसकी गवाही वहीं से मिल जाएगी। मैं अगर दलहन और तिलहन की ही बात करूं तो पहले की तुलना में दलहन और तिलहन की सरकारी खरीद करीब 24 गुना अधिक की गई है, 24 गुना अधिक।
The Prime Minister said during the coronavirus pandemic, a record purchase of wheat was made from farmers during the Rabi season and 1.13 lakh crore rupees were paid as MSP for wheat, paddy, pulses and oilseeds. The Prime Minister said the opposition parties are trying to mislead farmers on the issue of MSP. He asserted that farmers in several states are reaping rewards from the new system since June when the farm ordinances were issued.
कृषि क्षेत्र में इन ऐतिहासिक बदलावों के बाद, इतने बड़े व्यवस्था परिवर्तन के बाद कुछ लोगों को अपने हाथ से नियंत्रण जाता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। इसलिए अब ये लोग एमएसपी पर किसानों को गुमराह करने में जुटे हैं। मैं देश के प्रत्येक किसान को इस बात का भरोसा देता हूं कि एमएसपी की व्यवस्था जैसे पहले चलती आ रही थी वैसे ही चलती रहने वाली है।
Prime Minister Modi's remarks came during a virtual ceremony to lay the foundation stone of 9 highway projects worth 14,258 crore rupees in Bihar. He also inaugurated the optical fiber internet services, Ghar Tak Fiber, through which all 45,945 villages in the state will be connected. Prime Minister Modi said the project will empower rural people with digital services like e-education, e-agriculture, telemedicine, tele-law and other social security schemes.
जब गांव-गांव में तेज इंटरनेट पहुंचेगा, तो गांव में पढ़ाई आसान होगी। गांव के बच्चे, हमारे ग्रामीण युवा भी एक क्लिक पर दुनिया की किताबों तक, तकनीक तक आसानी से पहुंच पाएंगे। यही नहीं, टेलीमेडिसिन के माध्यम से अब दूर सुदूर के गांवों में भी सस्ता और प्रभावी इलाज गरीब को घर बैठे ही दिलाना संभव हो पाएगा।
Prime Minister Modi asserted that 6 lakh villages across the country will be connected through the internet in the coming 1,000 days. With inputs from Ravindra Singh Sharan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Optical fiber network.
India and China on Monday held the first ever joint military and diplomatic level talks at the Chushul-Moldo meeting point on the Chinese side of the line of actual control. India was represented by 14 Corps Commander Lieutenant General Narendra Singh, a delegation of 13 military officers and a team comprising defense, foreign and home ministry officials were part of the meeting. The meeting focused on complete de-escalation and disengagement in all trouble areas. India has insisted on free and unhindered access to 15 patrolling points that China is blocking in eastern Ladakh. In the previous 5 rounds of Corps Commander level talks, disengagement was based on mutual withdrawal of equal distance. While these steps were successful in the Galwan Valley and Hot Springs area, they were not successful on the northern bank of the Pangong Tso. Monday's meeting is the first after External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi met on 11th of September in Moscow and agreed upon a 5-point consensus. So far, there have been 5 Corps Commander level talks, 4 WMCC meets, political engagements between the defense ministers and foreign ministers in Moscow, and also talks between the special representatives of India and China. The standoff in eastern Ladakh is now entering its 5th month. The Madhya Pradesh Assembly was on Monday adjourned sine die after passing the Finance Bill 2020. While 78 MLAs were present in the House during the one-day session, 23 of them attended the session virtually. The Madhya Pradesh Money Lender Amendment Bill 2020, the Madhya Pradesh Municipal Law Amendment Bill 2020, and the Madhya Pradesh VAT Amendment Bill 2020 were passed. After the passage of the bills, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan in his statement said, Madhya Pradesh tackled the COVID-19 situation better than the other states. Earlier, the House paid tributes to 21 prominent leaders who passed away recently, including former President Pranab Mukherjee, former Madhya Pradesh Governor Lalji Tandon, Chhattisgarh's former Chief Minister Ajit Jogi, and former Union Minister Hansraj Bharadwaj, as well as Indian soldiers who were killed in action. The 5-day session of the Gujarat Assembly also began on Monday amid precautions for the COVID-19 outbreak. Staffers, legislators and media persons have been tested for the infection, while entry for outsiders has been banned. Nearly 20 bills will be taken up for discussion during the 5-day session. There will be no question hour as top officials in the administration are on tour statewide to contain the COVID-19 outbreak. Legislators, however, can raise short notice questions to seek answers from the government. The monsoon session of the Karnataka Assembly also began on Monday amid protests by farmer organizations. The state government wants the session, which is currently scheduled for 10 days till the 30th of September, to be shortened to 3 days, as about 50 MLAs have tested positive for COVID-19 or are in home isolation. However, till now, the opposition has not agreed to cut short the session. The Assembly paid tributes to leaders and prominent personalities. The House also paid tributes to Galwan Valley martyrs, COVID-19 victims, as well as health professionals. And let's now take a look at the latest COVID-19 situation in the country. India now occupies the top position in the world in terms of total recoveries. In some more positive news, Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said on Monday that no significant virus mutations have been found in the country yet. He, however, cautioned that it would take some time for herd immunity to develop and cover 70% of India's population. The ICMR will issue a comprehensive report on the large-scale sequencing of nationally representative strains collected over a few months next month.
India now has the highest number of recovered COVID-19 patients globally. Recovered patients in India are 19% of the total recoveries across the world. 43.96 lakh people in India have recovered. In the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 infections crossed 54.87 lakh on Monday morning, with a spike of 86,961 new cases and 1,130 deaths. Total cases include 10 lakh active cases and 87,882 deaths. Recoveries exceeded new cases by 6,395 and the overall recovery rate improved to 80.11%. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu reported the highest 24-hour increase in number of cases and deaths. 7.31 lakh samples were tested on Sunday. India has so far tested 6.43 crore samples. India is testing around 46,000 samples per million people. The test positivity rate stood at 8.5% today. Amid rising COVID-19 cases, fresh restrictions have been imposed in some cities. In Chhattisgarh, 10 districts, including Raipur, announced a week-long lockdown from Monday. State capital Raipur has been declared a containment zone till September 28th. Section 144 was imposed in Rajasthan's 11 districts, including capital Jaipur, after a surge in cases. All schools in Delhi will remain closed till October 5th in view of the rising cases. Meanwhile, Taj Mahal has opened with stricter restrictions for the public from today, 6 months after it was shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Only 5,000 people will be allowed into the heritage site per day, with safety guidelines, social distancing and mandatory wearing of masks. Ticket counters will remain closed and tickets will be available online. After 6 months, all government and private schools across the Jammu region reopened partially for higher classes on a voluntary basis. The Punjab government has also allowed students of classes 9th to 12th to visit their schools in areas outside containment zones on voluntary basis as per the centre's Unlock 4.0 guidelines.
हमें नेटवर्क इश्यूज़ की वजह से कभी कभार कुछ समझ नहीं आता था और रेगुलर क्लासेस से हम टीचर्स से कंसल्ट करके कुछ भी डाउट्स क्लियर कर सकते हैं.
हम बहुत खुश हैं कि हमारे स्कूल खुल गए, क्योंकि हमें घर में बहुत प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी पढ़ने में, क्योंकि नेटवर्क बहुत इशू था तो क्लास हमारी अच्छे से ज्वाइन नहीं हो पाती थी.
Daily active cases in the country grew at 5,500 last week on an average, while 1,150 deaths were reported on an average during the same period. Daily average recoveries were 85,000, while average daily confirmed cases were 94,000. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Election Commission of India organized an international webinar on Monday on the topic Issues, Challenges and Protocols for Conducting Elections During COVID-19, Sharing Country Experiences. Inaugurating the webinar, Chief Election Commissioner of India and Chairperson Sunil Arora spoke of the tough predicament faced by election management bodies across the world, whether and how to hold scheduled elections in the state of a public health emergency. Countries such as South Korea, Australia, Malawi, Taiwan, Mongolia, and many others conducted elections, strictly following arrangements required to ensure the health and safety of people. Over 120 delegates from as many as 45 countries across the world participated in the webinar. The webinar focused on sharing these experiences and revisiting the existing guidelines. Expressing anguish over the collapse of a building in Maharashtra's Bhiwandi, Home Minister Amit Shah on Monday said the teams of the National Disaster Response Force are present at the spot and are assisting with the rescue operations. At least 11 people were killed and several others injured after a 3-story building collapsed in Bhiwandi town. The incident occurred at around 3:40 a.m. 13 people, including a 4-year-old boy, have been rescued so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered condolences and assured all possible assistance to those affected. President Ramnath Kovind, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, and several other leaders also condoled the deaths. International Day of Peace was observed on Monday. Designated by the United Nations in 2001, the day is devoted to strengthening the ideals of peace through observing 24 hours of non-violence and ceasefire. The theme of the day is Shaping Peace Together. Describing peace as the key to progress, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu urged people to work towards global harmony and world peace. He also called for global unity and asked for isolation of the forces of terror and violence. And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you for your time. Good night.